Mike D'Antoni is one of several coaches that the Philadelphia 76ers are exploring hiring. Thanks to a recent small ball experiment and the 7 seconds or less offense in Phoenix, Mike D'Antoni has created quite the reputation for himself. It's paramount to understand some of Mike D'Antoni's tendencies as a coach, and this may explain why Philadelphia is potentially interested in an almost 70-year-old guy. In addition to 2 Coach of the Year awards, Mike D'Antoni coached for Team USA 2 times. Though he spent time coaching for a handful of teams, his most notable gigs are namely Houston and Phoenix. It was in Phoenix where D'Antoni coached the Suns to 4 consecutive 50-plus win seasons. Steve Nash won MVP in consecutive seasons during that span and was a runner-up for his 3rd season in 2006. D'Antoni implemented a system in Phoenix and a style of basketball that was really unparalleled at that time. Amar'e Stoudemire described it as just getting the basketball and going. And it's really as simple as that. The Phoenix Suns physically wore teams down for the entire game and in the half court ran a spread pick and roll system to dissect the defense. And the numbers support just how effective his system was. And his usage of the 6'10 Amar'e Stoudemire should intrigue the Philadelphia 76ers. In the 5 full seasons that Amar'e Stoudemire played under Mike D'Antoni, his usage percentage was over 25%. His usage ranked top 12 league-wide in 4 of the 5 seasons. Even in his first 2 dreadful seasons in New York, a 6'9 Al Harrington was the highest used Knick. His offense was even built around David Lee for a season as a trailing center, and yet he finished top 15 in points and field goals attempted. Anyway, Stoudemire's average usage under D'Antoni is not too far off from Joel Embiid's career average usage. With this high usage, Stoudemire produced the 2nd best offensive rating in basketball in multiple seasons. The game has changed, but Embiid has yet to rank top 10 in the NBA. Under D'Antoni, Amar'e Stoudemire produced the top 12 most points across multiple seasons. In each one of those seasons, he got to the line more than most to all players in the entire NBA. In D'Antoni's first full season as a Suns head coach, Amar'e Stoudemire finished 3rd in points, 1st in free throws attempted, and he had the top 12 most field goals attempted. In 2007, Amar'e scored the 4th most points in the entire league and went to the line the 5th most. When Stoudemire and D'Antoni reunited in 2010, he was 5th in total points and 9th in free throws attempted. Now let's examine D'Antoni's tenure in Houston, where his offensive creativity was unleashed. D'Antoni ran a multitude of offensive sets and did everything he could to maximize the talent at the guard position on the Houston Rockets roster. The Houston Rockets generated more points and possessions in transition than Philadelphia in 2 of the last 4 seasons. Both Houston and Philadelphia were bottom 10 for pick and roll frequency in 2015. Mike D'Antoni left Philadelphia and went to Houston in 2016, and then they ranked top 10 in pick and roll possessions, frequency, and points. Houston remained top 10 in pick and roll ball handler points for the next 2 seasons, while Philadelphia was dead last until this season. And roll men always thrive in D'Antoni's system. Since 2016, Houston has generated more possessions and points for their roll men than Philadelphia. Just because Houston abandoned the P&R this season doesn't mean D'Antoni wants Embiid traded. And for a team like Houston, notorious for shooting early in the shot clock and a high volume of threes, Philadelphia's shot selection is pretty comparable since 2016. So, in conclusion, Mike D'Antoni's system is going to force whatever team he coaches for to shoot the 3-ball. Under Mike D'Antoni, Phoenix was top 3 in 3-pointers attempted from 2004 to 2007. New York was top 2 in 3-pointers attempted for 4 4 straight years. And Houston has led the NBA in 3-pointers attempted every year since 2016. And when D'Antoni wants to get out and run, he has one of the best players in transition at his disposal. I mean, Ben Simmons is not Steve Nash, but he assisted the most 3-pointers made last season, and for what it's worth, he's one of the best players in the league at creating opportunities for other players in his team. Philadelphia's current roster isn't compatible with Mike D'Antoni's spread pick and roll offense, which ensures he's either going to try to trade for a ball handling guard, or he's going to implement an entirely new system. To say that D'Antoni is not going to figure out how to use Embiid is a crazy assumption to make. But until then, the Sixers have some homework to do. All right, everybody, until next time, stay solid, be good, be safe, be smart. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.